Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha, Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namaha, Shri Vedpurushaya Namo Namaha, Shri Bhaktidevyai Namo Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namo Namaha, Shri Maya Devyai Namo Namaha, Shri Angirasaya Namo Namaha, Shri Kapilaya Namo Namaha, Shri Gargaya Namo Namaha, Shri Vedavyasaya Namo Namaha, Shri Dharmaya Namo Namaha, Shri Matra Saktrai Namo Namaha, Om Shri Radha Krishnabhyam Namo Namaha. My humble pranam to everyone. Welcome back to this last class of the third course. And we have been going, making this journey. We have been making this journey. I call it Tirth Yatra, through courses 1, 2, and 3. Looking at, understanding, comprehending some of the most important foundational ideas presented and discussed by our ancient Vedic rishis. During this journey, we have seen the beautiful, wonderful world of ideas. We have seen the valleys, we have seen the mountains, we have seen nature full of beauty and wonder. And today, we are reaching to a station that we are going, all of us going to get off. This station is only a temporary station, it's not a permanent station. We must continue our journey forward, carrying this transformative experience to reach with our final purusharth. You see this picture, we have to fly out. This is a award-giving picture captured when the eagle and the flying fish appears to be flying at the same time. And we had to take flight through our imagination, through our experiences, to reach those destinations which are Anandamaya, Rasomaya. This is what we have to keep in mind. Where is our destination? Look at these two pair of parrots. So beautiful, so colorful. It has been found out that out of all birds, most colorful are the parrots. Various species of parrots found in different continents. And you know, they are talking and singing. They carry their own internal communication. and some of them can be trained to speak our language. Topics to be covered in this lecture are as follows. Category A and Category B. Category A will deal with perversion, corruption, and pollution in the Vivaha samskaara. Will identify such observed aspects, primary reasons behind this state of affairs, and potential corrective measures. Then category B, we are going to discuss question corresponding answers for contemporary and future society. Specifically, these questions that I am going to discuss normally are not discussed and pondered upon by the Hindu community at large. Is Vivaha samskaara mandatory? Is Vivaha samskaara of the widowed female accepted? Is the living relationship without Vivaha samskaara acceptable? Is the same-sex Vivaha samskaara acceptable? Is sexual relationship prior to Vivaha samskaara acceptable? Is intercultural Vivaha samskaara acceptable? And future of the institutions of Vivaha samskaara and its impact on individual and society. And finally, concluding thoughts on the entire series of 3 courses. So bear with me. Let us think together. Let us learn together. And let us start practicing together. Perversion, corruption, pollution in the Vivaha samskaara. Identification of such observed aspect. Some of the observed aspects were observed by me and observed by many of you are the following. In general, I have observed carefully the seriousness and gravity of this prominent samskar by both the bridegroom and bride and their families have been in the state of erosion since long time. For example, if you look at the contemporary ritual of the Jayamala ceremony, it appears to be an acrobat type of competitive event when the groom and bride are taken to by the respective people, friends or whosoever. They are being lift up on their shoulder. They have a competition who can get further, who can get the first one to offer the Jayamala. All this is really a kind of a hocus pocus. Is very bizarre. Seriousness is not there, gravity is not there. Not only that, if you look at the entire ceremony, I have observed people sitting on the podium from both the sides, including bride and groom. They do not exhibit kind of thoughtful seriousness to execute all the rituals and the samskar vidhi. Another example, Agnidev Kund is placed at the level of the feet of bridegroom and bride. The acharyas also sit at the same level. Is this a structural arrangement an appropriate and sacred one? I say no. They should be on the same level. And for that, actually, I've suggested some of the places where I had opportunity to do so. That if the bride and groom cannot sit on the floor at the same level when Agni Kund is, then you can place the Agni Kund on the same level by having it placed on a table. And all the priests and everyone will sit on the chairs and perform the rituals. Even such a simple act of sacredness, a structural arrangement, is not being followed. What a degree of darkness. I have also observed, and many of you might have observed, appropriate mantra recitation at different steps is not followed by many acharyas. For example, I have heard recitation of slokas from Bhagavad Gita and other such scriptures as if this is a battlefield. What a deep, dark ignorance and pollution, perversion when the Vivaha samskaara. Proper sequence of ritual is not followed. And the ritual structure is also compromised. If you are looking at this whole process critically, it appears to be very superficial. In many parts of the world, and many parts of India, especially, and I have seen in the north, they perform the Vivaha samskaara during night time in presence of only immediate family members, with only a couple of extra people for the help. And the bridegroom and bride are observed to get into a state of drowsiness and sleep. So no one can know what is going on. No one is taught. It's all ignorance, deep, dark ignorance through which we perform and carry out the sacred tradition of the Vivaha samskaara. Primary reasons behind the state of affairs is deep, dark ignorance, a state of negligence, an intentional drive towards creating the event to just superficial. Parents as well as brides and grooms insist upon even authentic acharyas to cut short time and or the steps. Whole event has been corrupted, polluted under the motivated sense of show business, entertainment, media in general, no formal education on sanskars. These are some of the primary reasons behind this state of affairs. It's very unfortunate and very sad to see that. Because this is one of the most important sanskars where the bride and bridegrooms as pati and patni are going to spend 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years together. And this is the state of affairs with the beginning, the initiation. Collective sincere efforts to foster education to the parents, younger generation, and acharya. Very, very essential, absolutely essential. If you are serious about this Vivaha sanskar and many other sanskars, then and then only you will have a transformative experience. The vows that you take during these sanskars will make full meaning if and only if the bridegroom and bride are, including the parents and families, are serious about it, thoughtful about it, committed about it, dedicated about it, devoted about it. Otherwise, it's a hocus pocus to me. Otherwise, it is really of not much value. It simply has become a show business, how much money you can spend. Who has a most beautiful mandap? These are the competition going on. How many dishes you can serve? So I can have appreciation to enhance my social status. Does anybody care after everything is done? Does anybody care about how much money you spend? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Spending money alone does not address and make this sanskar more sacred. You can spend as much money you want to, that's fine, but the Vivaha sanskar itself, with all dimensions, all rituals, all aspects, must be taken with full sincerity, full dedication and devotion. That's important. In brief, let me go over some of these slides for the Vivaha sanskar so that future answers to the question that we have been raising and we will address to make good sense and good understanding. In brief, I have been describing in detail in the previous lectures, but brief. It is a union of the fittest couple. It is a new bond between two independent personalities. It's a permanent, stable yoga dharmic union. Permanent, stable. It provides the ground for perpetual existence through progeny. Otherwise, the world will collapse. There will not be any existence. If there is no progeny, then no, it will not work. It provides the ground for controlled sexual pleasure. It is not a passport for sexual indulgence and gratification, but a social dharmic institution aiming at the moderation of in the conjugal life. Very important. We have to be very careful. This is not the sanskar and union is not simply for fun. It ushers a new era in life. Meaning and purpose of life, the existence itself become manifest through this sanskar. It is a social change, involves a great compromise and mutual sacrifice. This is very important. Compromise and mutual sacrifice. Very, very important. Those who are not willing to accept this aspect of the Vivaha sanskar, it will be failure. And failure has very, very serious consequences for individuals, for families, for society, for nations. It invites the conscious acceptance of the responsibilities and the resulting suffering. It is willing sacrifice for the spouse, for the family, for the society, and for the world. Very important. These aspects are very important, and briefly that I have discussed. And these aspects cover really the very meaning of life and living. Let's look at some of the marriage or wedding versus the Vivaha samskaara. I have discussed those in detail, but just to briefly, marriage or wedding, it is defined as a legal contract, social contract. Some rituals were added later by the Abrahamic traditions. Some rituals. Whether you're talking about the Jewish tradition, Christian tradition, Islamic tradition. If you go back all the way to Greeks, these are primarily the legal contracts and social contracts. Even till today, we see father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. They are only connected to laws, legal. These are the legal contracts. The language itself tells us that these are the legal relationships. Can you believe that? Vivaha sanskar union of two, male and female, entering and getting established in the field of grahastha ashram. This is the new understanding which I have introduced in these courses. A path of perpetuation human existence through progress. Adhyatmic Yoga Dharma. A divine world is invoked. Adibhautik world is invoked. Social dharma, entry into grahastha ashram. Yagna with the Agni Deva at the center. It's a legal union. It's also psychomental union. A path to Banaprastha and Sannyas ashram. A path to moksha and divine experience. All these aspects have to be taken into account. Before we can dwell upon the meaning and purpose behind two traditions, marriage or wedding versus Vivaha sanskar. Vivaha sanskar yoga dharma, it became marriage and wedding is strictly legal contact or relations are in law. Tragic corruption. It has become only a show business. Most presiding priests, bride, groom, and their parents, family, friends do not even care to know about the meanings and purpose of this sanskar and how they can be practiced. Concluding remarks, we must start using Sanskrit language-based technical terminology. We must start purging out the corrupted narratives and interpretations. We have to re-examine the entire field of Sanskriti Sanskar complex for redesigning them within the Vedic spirit of continuity with innovation. We have to introduce innovation, and that's what I have been doing, and how to implement authenticity. This is the transformation takes place. Initially, the Bar Badhu before Sanskar. During the Sanskar, Bar Badhu are addressed as Lakshmi Narayan. After the Sanskar is completed, Pati and Patni or Dampati. Yogic union, 1 plus 1 equal to 1, not 2. They become 1. A critical look, the very idea, creation of physical, mental, intellectual, private, secret, and social boundary enclosed in the field, which is called the Grahastha Ashram. new field is created. First mention of Vivaha is Surya or Som in Rig Veda, Vivaha of Sun and Prithvi in Atrahi Brahmana. I'm not going to describe this union in detail, but this is where the origin is. And I have expanded and innovated this concept. I have used the term Vivaha Samskaara Yoga Dharma Ksetra to initiate and uphold additional dharmas within the Grihastha ashram that are emerged or born from the field of this ashram. New dharmas are created. Forms of Vivaha, there are 8 kinds, are very much mentioned in our Vedic literature. The last, Brahma Vivaha, is the ideal one that is being currently followed, and I have discussed about them at length in previous lectures. The big question and corresponding answers for the contemporary and future world. Is Vivaha Sanskar mandatory? Answer, no. Emphatically no. One can choose to not to go through Grihastha ashram and its obligation, but with the following understanding. How one's deep-rooted worldly desires, including sensual and sexual desires, be fulfilled if you do not have a Vivaha Sanskar. How these will be fulfilled. Can one successfully deal with the personal, professional, painful situation without a friendly, loving help and support from a spouse? Your spouses must become as the great friend, the most trustworthy, and all our problems can be discussed, sorted out, and to be found a solution through this relationship. Can one consciously prepare to move towards a creative and fulfilling Vanaprastha and Sannyas ashram without experiencing the state of anxiety, loneliness, and depression? Can we do that? These are the questions we have to be answering ourselves by ourselves before you go and make a final decision. I'm not going to have a Vivaha Sanskar, not going to have this yogic union. You have to answer those questions. Please note, some persons can directly go to sannyas ashram without going to the grihastha ashram, primarily because of their past life karmic fruits. They have already gone through all the experience in their past lives. And in this life, they're born to a family where they do not have to internally, that's the innate desire that don't want to go through these other ashrams, the Grihastha ashram, and they can directly go to sannyas ashram. Many are born sannyasis. One can also come back to Grihastha ashram after sannyas, dictated by usual deeply psychological conditions. And there are cases like this. I know one particular case from Pejavar Mutt, Swami, that one of the young devotee who took sannyas at the very early age when he was growing up in Gurukul, great scholar, great singer of the mantras. When he was 30, 35 years age, he approached his guru, living guru, and told him, I want to go back to Grihastha ashram. Can I do that? His guru was shocked. And eventually he was persuaded by the disciple that I have deeply ingrained in a desire that I want to go to Grihastha ashram, and then later on I will come back to sannyas ashrams. Yes, it is also acceptable depending upon what kind of innate desire, deeply rooted psychological desires you have. Is Vivaha samskaara of a widowed female accepted? Emphatically, yes. Any pramana or evidence? It is the pramana. Here I am giving one of the pramana. Cremation ground. At this point, men from the procession taking the widow's left hand invites her. When she is laying down on the pyre by the side of her dead husband, to come down from the pyre, saying, "Stand up, O woman, who you lie next to the deceased. Come to the world of living, far from your husband, and become the wife of he who will take your hand and will want to marry you." This the mantra recited is given in Rig Veda. This mantra itself so powerful allows for carrying on the Vivaha samskar of a widowed female. In Vedic times, note, the voluntary sacrifice of the widows remain in use among certain warrior families until 1835. This ritual hinting at sati is very rare, as this also has been legally banned. Remarriage of widows was sanctioned, otherwise a deep, dark, tragic condition. Is very much sanctioned. What happened during 19th and 20th century, that sanctioned the sati pratha, that widows cannot have a vivaha sanskar. This was a tragic situation under deep darkness. Those who were proclaiming this and forcing others to follow those rules, they did not have any understanding of the Vedic directives, unfortunately. Is the live-in relationship without Vivaha sanskar acceptable? Emphatically not acceptable. And this is one of the important research done by Professor Rosen. This book was published in 1993. It has been updated since then, I believe. If one can look carefully at the development modern practice of dating, one cannot fail to notice that a simple act of meeting between a male and female just to know each other better has grown into a living together tradition while still unmarried. The consequences of the living together trap, based on a recent study has stated below, are sufficient to illustrate the failure of the passion lust greed-driven search for a perfect match under the guise of love. under the pretension of love. This is the passion, lust, greed-driven search. And this is this statement is my statement, and look at here what the statements come from this book. Couples who lived together before marriage divorced at a higher rate than those who did not. Most men in a living relationship are not monogamous, and women too have their extra living affairs. Exchanging love for debt and becoming entwined in each other's financial woes prevent the easy escape one might seek down the road. These are some of the observations through actual field work. I think Dr. Sanjay Mishra wants to get in. I already talked about it. Let's move on to is the same-sex Vivaha samskaara acceptable? Emphatically no. Let us first define the sexual and gender identities. You can find those from Google. Sex identity. This refers to different biological characteristics of male and females, such as reproductive organs, chromosome, hormones, etc. Gender identity. This refers to the socially constructed characteristics of men and women, such as roles, norm, relationship, and group of men and women. So there are two different identities, sex identities and gender identities. Biological sex. The sex hormones, the XX combination, female, XY combination, male. It's very interesting to look at the biological field, and you will find out total males have 23 chromosome, female have 23 chromosome. When they come together, the new zygote has 46 chromosomes. It's shared by 23 male, 23 female. Only one pair is different out of these 23. But keep in mind, we all have males and female characteristics, but with varying degrees and kind. So basically, male is half Nari, female, and female is also half male. Keep that in mind. This is yogic union creating a human being. 23 plus 23 becomes 46. Females have 2 copies of X chromosome, while males have X and one Y chromosome. So the sexual chromosome XX or XY make this difference, whether one is born as a female or one is born as male. Modern trends, keep that in mind. Primarily, only 2 sexes rooted in binary classification between sperm and ova. Physical, mental, behavior characteristics differ between male and female because of those one sexual chromosome. For modern acronym, postmodern acronym, LGBTQIA2S+, keeps on increasing. size. Symbol is a rainbow. L for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning, intersex, asexual or agender, and two-spirit plus sign signify additional identity terms. Please note, because this has a direct bearing why we say this same-sex marriage is not acceptable. Pregnancy is possible as long as you have a uterus, an ovary, and are ovulating. Under these conditions only, if this is natural, then of course you can have a pregnancy. Gender identity, cisgender, gender identity and sex identity are aligned as male or female at birth. Transgender, these whose gender identity is different from their sex identity assigned at the birth. And this is the umbrella term encompassing all kinds of gender identities. Intersex, a person whose biological sex is ambiguous due to genetic, hormonal, or anatomical variations. It's not definite whether you are male or female. Bisexual gender, a person who is sexually attracted to both the sexes. Many kinds of hormonal therapies and surgical procedures are also in use for sex changes, and sadly enough, children are lured to such procedures. Queer, a term used to describe a sexual orientation that is not straight, without indicating the genders of queer person, people they are attracted to. Please note, recently, very recently, November 14, 2024, this was published in the Front Page magazine. Feminists protest election with call for ending marriage. No dating, no marriage, no children. This is the what you call new slogan of postmodern feminist agenda. Vedic viewpoints. Let's look at male and female genders are identified with sex identities at birth. There is a third gender called Tritiya Prakriti, or the third sex, which you can call a transgender in the most suitable word for it. Tritiya Prakriti. Two kinds, according to whether their appearance is psychological nature, masculine or feminine. Kama Sutra describes all these things. Then they are further divided into many subcategories, numbering well over 20. Wide variety of sexual behaviors are accommodated in ancient times, but limited to space within its culture. Best estimate is around 3 to 5%. These sexual and gender variations have been born from the field of Prakriti, and the reasons behind are many, including past karmic residues. How do I say that? The one quotation from Mahabharata. If heterosexual men who indiscriminately engage in any intercourse without restriction, Lord Shiva explained to Goddess Parvati, those foolish men of adharmic conduct, evil conduct, who engage in all forms of intercourse, taking advantage of improper wounds and forcing themselves upon other men, are born again without their organs and neuters. There are some repetition of some of the words, forms. I'm sorry for that. The improper wombs are wombs of another man's wife, the mother, the sister, child, or animal. So, again, Vivaha samskaara not acceptable for these categories in general, because they do not fulfill the necessary conditions, such as male and female with the potential of progeny. entire ritual field becomes meaningless and collapses. Hindu acharya institution cannot be forced to perform the rituals. Special cases may be considered. For example, yes, male and female cannot produce offspring because of the biological problems, issues. So some kind of cases can be considered as special cases. Please note, again, very interesting, sexual and gender symbol rainbow is meaningful from Vedic point of view, because the variations in the sexual gender created by Prakriti, field of Prakriti, due to widely different regions, including the past karmic residue as well as parents' orientation. They are recognized as a form of spectrum, with one end as a binary male-female, while the other end mixed, not appropriately definable. These are the variations naturally introduced by the field of Prakriti. Very, very important. Now, so how do we look at from Vedic point of view? All such natural variations must be accepted with their dignity and their appropriate place in the society. Hatred and violence against these people, these persons, have no place in Vedic tradition. But such variations do not allow to be engaged in a Vivaha samskaara. In all such cases, only course of action is a legal union. And that legal union depends on on different societies, their legal doctrines, their constitutions, and the people at large. Yes, Hindu wisdom does allow a legal union, not the Vivaha samskaara. And also, when you have a legal union between, for example, the male, female, then how can, whether they are allowed to have, whether they are allowed to adopt children, same-sex marriage, are they allowed to have children? It's a very serious question, and society has to discuss. From Vedic points of view, it's not allowed. Is sexual relationship prior to Vivaha samskaara acceptable? Not acceptable. Friendship, collegiality, social relations are acceptable. Also encouraged to explore emotional, intellectual, professional, and dharmic mutual compatibility. So when a young person looking for having a Vivaha samskar, which is called a dharmic yogic union, they have to be compatible with each other in their lifestyle, in their thought process, in their attitude, in their goals. In order to explore this, look for a compatibility, they had to have friendship, they had to have emotional, intellectual, professional, the what you call the friendship. So they can explore all this in professional life, in personal life. But during this exploration, during this friendship, during this Search, sexual relationship is not acceptable. Number 6, is intercultural Vivaha sanskar acceptable? Yes, it is acceptable. Requirements are these. All the ritual procedures are to be followed wholeheartedly. All the 7 vows, Saptapadi, and obligations, 7 parikramas around the Agni must be honored with full commitment and sincerity. The above requirement is also valid of persons of the same culture. So yes, intercultural sanskars are acceptable, but these are the requirements for the bride and groom to follow, to accept. Future of the institution of Vivaha sanskar and its impact on individual society. Some thoughts. Very briefly, I'm putting my thoughts. Future will depend upon, and future can be bright if Bharati collectively bow to follow the uncorrected and updated version as has been proposed here. Otherwise, the situation is bleak. Please keep in mind that the postmodern feminism, with its sinister agenda lurking around the corner, the families are in the process of breaking apart. Future can be bright if, and only if, the knowledge and corresponding practices are transmitted to younger generation, including presiding priestly class. Please do recognize that it must be collective effort. And the elder generation bear the greater responsibility. And please stop blaming the younger generation. We are not teaching them. We are not practicing ourselves. There are no sanskars are being given. Look at the entire education system. How to live a better life is not talked about, is not taught. No courses are offered. All the entire education system has become for the sake of earth, possessions, properties, money, and pleasure. Calm and earth. These 2 fields have become dominant, leaving behind the dharmic aspect of these earth and calm. There is a one interesting line of poem. राम नाम की लूट है, लूट पाओ सो लूट, अंत काल पछताओगे, प्राण जाएंगे छूट. That was the dictum. Now I have changed it. काम दाम की लूट है, लूट पाओ सो लूट, अंत काल पछताओगे, प्राण जाएंगे छूट. Otherwise, all the lavish individual, family, society, nation will meet their self-inflicted state of meaninglessness, unhappiness, purposefulness, emptiness. I'm sorry. Unhappiness, loss of, yes, purposefulness, you will have emptiness, and a terrible loss of field of Pursarth Yoga. With this lecture, my dear listeners, this journey will reach destination of completing a set of 3 courses that were under the newly innovated, unique, unifying theme, Lok Sangre Yog Dharm Chit, Sanatan Dharm Bridge, which can encompass all human experiences with their own specific qualities and dimensions. The course 1, it has dealt with the founding principles. Course 2, it has dealt with pragmatic unfolding of the principles that need to be followed with heart and mind. Course 3, it has focused on the specific important branch of that bridge, dealing with one of the most important aspects of the celebration of life designated as Vivaha samskaara. Just to reiterate that these courses do not go broad and deep enough to illustrate all the beauty, wonder, and mystery of existence because of the time constraint. However, enough details, including a question-answer type of strategy, have been delineated and discussed through these courses. I cannot go deep enough. That can encompass all the fields of human experience. That can bring out and manifest even contemporary world of experiences in the fields A through Z, sciences, non-sciences, biological, non-biological, material sciences. In the field of legal profession, field of political science, I cannot go deep enough to interconnect all these fields under the banner of Lok Sangrah Yog Dharma Kshetra, which is I have proposed to represent as a Sanatan Dharma branch. The entire sequence, 3 courses was aimed to briefly provide a unified view of foundational ideas and how do they manifest concretely in the pragmatic world of humanity. This newly discovered unified ground is recognized under the proposed banner, Lok Sangrah Yog Dharma Kshetra. Some of these specific details could not be dealt with due to limitation of time. These details, like appropriate mantras, will be included in the updated version. May I request you to kindly consider the following. Keep reviewing the materials given to the classroom.google.com website. And I think they are being also available on YouTube. Share with others and teach others, especially the younger generation. Implement it in your personal, family, social, national, international spheres. Use the appropriate original Sanskrit language-based technical terminology in your oral and written communication. For example, most inappropriate terms, wedding, marriage, shadi, must be replaced by the term Vivaha samskaara. When you give out the invitation cards or greeting cards, please use the term Vivaha samskaara. Let those who do not know will then be curious enough to know what does that mean. And that will be a part of propagating the education. Few recommendations. Vows 7 plus 7 taken during the conduct of Vivaha samskaara are not the one-time act, but they must be repeated and acted out by Pati Patni couple every year, probably on the occasion of anniversary celebration, but without any social gathering. Pati Patni sitting together can reenact those vows. It does not require any special preparation. It is good to do in front of your home deity in or a lighted lamp. Pati Patni can do it during the anniversary celebration before they go out to Hawaii, to travel, to dine in fancy restaurants. This must be, it's not a one-time act. This has to be reenacted over and over every year to make ourselves aware of the vows that you have taken the very first time and how much they have been fulfilled or what the status. Please do make an assessment jointly by both of the progress, if any, made on those vows during the previous years and act accordingly in the coming years. It must become a living tradition for many good reasons, including longevity of the family. The whole act does not take more than an hour. And everyone can spare an hour or so once every year. Honor your parents on that day. That recognize that day as a Parents' Day. By recognizing separately the Father's Day and Mother's Day is an act of promoting a tradition of separation, tradition of separated, broken family. Please go back to history if you want to learn how and why this separation has taken place in American culture. We must celebrate Parents' Day, not a separate Mother's Day or Father's Day. This is one of the recommendations. And that can be done since we have taken a vow the first time. Parivarik Rana, obligation to family. That particular day, when you repeat these vows, will be an excellent day to honor the parents. To me, this year, Tiyatra, with all of you, has been full of learning, innovation, very inspiring, enriching, and joyful experience. Your active participation has been commendable and blissful for me. I humbly bow down to all of you again and again, and future listeners with deep gratitude that we could make this journey together. If I may share a secret with you, personal secret. Through this yatra, I myself have been going through a process of non-physical death and new rebirth. And this strange and mysterious process has been with me since my childhood. And I'm not sure that how many more times I must go through till the end of my bodily life. And this is my craziness in reality. I have died many times. I've been born many times. However, this new birth every time brings me closer to the ultimate Parampursa. That's the transformative experience. Anyone who wants to move in the right direction towards enlightenment must go through the process of internal death and rebirth. Must go. This is based on my own personal experience and hidden experiences of Vedic rishis. I may come back in the future with another series under the umbrella term with all of you. Otherwise, my dear listeners, this may be the last meeting collectively with you. And I say goodbye and request to your pardon and blessing. I wish to express my deep gratitude and respect to Siraji Barmaji for providing me this platform, along with this help, support, guidance, and inspiration. I found him to be a real Niskam Karma Yogi, a unique sevak to Vedic rishis and their wisdom. I offer also my sincere appreciation and respect to the management team members, Shruti, Ramu, and Pooja, for their sincerity, technical help, and support. I offer my gratitude also to a very special personality, a very learned and saintly person, with whom I have been enjoying my frequent inspiring satsang for many, many years, my sister, Mrs. Moti Mehrotra. She has been teaching Bhagavad Gita to young and older generation, as well as Havan, how to do Havan, how to chant mantras, and many other aspects of Sanatan Dharmic tradition. I offer my gratitude to my youngest brother Bipin and his family for their moral support and encouragement. Last but not the least, I offer my gratitude to my immediate family, my wife, son, Putravadhu, grandson, and baby daughter for their help, support, inspiration, and love. My prayers, may Sri Radha Krishna bless you all. These are the additional bibliography references that I have been using in these lectures. I have been also referring at different lectures and different courses. They very much concluding message for Lok Sangrah Yog Dharma Kshetra. Remember, the Lok Sangrah appears at two places in the Bhagavad Gita. I meditated upon it, contemplated upon it, and then with the guidance, help, and inspiration from Bhagwan Krishna, I expanded it. And that became the set of 3 courses. So if we had to really follow and embody the Vedic wisdom tradition, we had to recite this mantra over and over and over. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vajayo Bhutir, Dhrubani Matur Mama. Wherever there is a Krishna, Lord of Yoga, the Partha, the archer, there surely is a fortune, victory, prosperity, wise conduct, I believe. We all have to learn how to become Arjun, how to act like Arjun under the guidance of Bhagwan Krishna. If we cannot do it, it is our choice. Do whatever you want to do, live whatever life you want to live. But before the biological death of this body, think about it. What did I gain? What did I earn? Has this living experience been meaningful, or it remains कोरा कागज मेरा जीवन कोरा ही रह गया, कोरा कागज मेरा जीवन कोरा ही रह गया. We'll do the last prayers together. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejastu Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvasavahai. Om Santi 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 Hari Om. I again bow down to all of you and future audience and asking for your blessing. We may not meet together in a group like this. We may not, but I'm planning to again come back to meet with all of you, to get your blessing, to learn together, to sing together, to dance together, to cry together. You have my email address. You can get my, if you want, you can get my personal phone number, WhatsApp number, that if you wish, we can keep communicating. And I wish it could be a lifelong relationship. I am in the last phase of my life. I don't know whether I will live next year or next day or next moment or not. I do not know. Whatever life is left, I will continue my journey, this Tirth Yatra, living with Vedic rishis, under the lotus feet of my Priyatam, Mere to Girdhar Gopal Dusarunu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiveji. Shiveji, it was a wonderful series. We are looking forward to many more courses from you, lectures from you. So with that, we are concluding the fall semester today. And thanks to all the audience participants. And it takes quite a lot to put things together. Shivaji, you have put in so much effort. We are hoping for more engagement, more deeper engagement. One of the good pointers actually came out in today's lecture is the same gender Vivaha, that trends need to be, we have to educate the public not to engage in things like that. So there are a lot of practical manifestations that have come from your lectures. We will pursue those in a structured manner. With that, if anybody has questions, please ask them now. And we'll come up with another course, another series of lectures starting January. Yeah, Girdhar ji. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello. Please unmute. Unmute your speaker, please.
Okay, you are good now. Please ask.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. You made things quite clear. We know that Rig Veda, sanctions marriage between two partners who are heterosexual, and that has been quite understood. But I think what you mentioned, there are certain variations, and you named quite a few of those. And you said that they can go through a legal marriage, but not through a Vivaha samskaara. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct. They can have their legal union provided it is accepted by their own legal system,
Yeah.
on their own constitution, or their own people.
Right. I just want to flag up something. You will be aware that there have been some Hindu priests who have undertaken Vivaha samskar of homosexual couples, including some in Mumbai a few years back, and this was highlighted on the social media. What would be the response to that? I mean, if we didn't comment on it, then over a period of time, more priests would do such things under pressure from that community, and then it would make things difficult. Is there any point in Association of Hindu Priests issuing a joint statement that these people can have a legal union, and we have no problem with that, as you stated, that it has to be consistent with the legal situation of a particular state, but that it cannot be a Vivaha samskar. Is that something that can be done on behalf of
Yes,
the
I
Hindu
certainly know those priests who have been performing, this, they are under dark ignorance. The
Yes.
entire vidhi, entire theoretical foundation practice collapses when you do the Vivaha sanskar for the same sex.
Absolutely right. Absolutely so.
It simply collapses. It becomes simply totally out of place. So yes, they can go ahead, and if legal proceedings are allowed, go ahead and do legal proceedings in the court or wherever. Priests must not do it. If they do it, they are really become dishonest to their own tradition, their own learning. They must not do it. And we must make this upfront clear. Because here also the temples, they have been not discussing, even the executive bodies and temples in America or England. They are not discussing about these issues that I've been, I've been discussing through these courses, that no, there are certain things cannot be done, cannot be accepted. So the temples, priests cannot perform at all the same-sex marriage. Let them have legal union in front of court or whatever. And also in this legal union, there's another restriction that I talked about during this course, that they should not be allowed to adopt children. Adoption is a very, very serious issue. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Namaste.
जय श्री कृष्ण। मैं कुछ बोलूं?
जय श्री कृष्ण बहन जी।
अभी आपने जो तीर्थ यात्रा करवाई और जिस ज्ञान की गंगा में हम सबको अवगाहन करवाया, उसके लिए हम सब बहुत धन्य हो गए। और इतना तो शायद कितनी पुस्तकें पढ़ने के बाद भी उतना ज्ञान नहीं मिलता जितना कि आपने सार रूप पे हम सबको दिया। और बहुत सारे ट्रांसजेंडर, सेमीजेंडर सबके विषय में बहुत सारे उसके लिए उपाय भी बताए कि हम कैसे इन संस्कार में जो विकार आ गए हैं उनको उनसे हम कैसे छूटे। तो एक छोटा सा कि जो ऐसा हो सकता है, ये तो बात की बात है जब बच्चे बड़े हो जाएंगे, लेकिन उसके जब बचपन में जब वो पढ़ते हैं तब से अगर उनको स्कूल में ये शिक्षा दी जाए तो मेरा ख्याल में ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा। क्योंकि हमारे स्कूल में भी एक कंपल्सरी धर्म शिक्षा का पीरियड होता था, और जिसमें कि हम सबको यही सारी बातें कि हम कैसे होगा, विवाह होगा तब क्या होगा, ससुराल में जाके क्या करेंगे, और आर्यवादी जो सत्यार्थ प्रकाश था और ये बहुत सारी पुस्तकों से हमें ये सब ज्ञान दिया जाता था, ताकि हम जब युवा हो तब तक वो संस्कार हमारे अंदर दृढ़ हो जाए। और जब ये इतने दृढ़ हो जाते हैं युवा होने के बाद, तब हम उसमें सुधार करना चाहते हैं तो बहुत ज्यादा प्रयास करना पड़ेगा। मेरा जहां तक ये ख्याल है कि अगर स्कूलों में एक 15 मिनट आधे घंटे के कंपल्सरी पीरियड कर दिया जाए कि हम उसमें इस तरह की शिक्षा देंगे, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि ज्यादा लाभकारी होगा।
मैं आपसे जी पूरी तरह सहमत हूँ। मैं पूरी तरह सहमत हूँ आपसे। दुर्भाग्य ये है कि प्राइमरी एजुकेशन से लेके पोस्ट डॉक्टरल एजुकेशन तक कहीं ये नहीं पढ़ाया जाता, नहीं शिक्षा दी जाती कि जीवन दर्शन क्या है, जीवन को कैसे जिए, हाउ टू लिव a beautiful, wonderful life that could have a full of meaning, full of purpose, except all the education is geared up towards earning money and fulfilling the desires. And I tell you, since you raised a very good question, I have been looking at these ideas all the way from Greek tradition. The question was, yes, contemporary scientific world can talk about whole psychological field, can talk about, yes, what is living conditions now? What is the mental framework now? They cannot answer the question how it could be, how it ought to be. This question has not been answered throughout the entire Western intellectual tradition, unfortunately. And we started following that tradition also. So I think unless these courses are introduced in the educational system, I don't see a bright light in future. And we must do it. We must do it even if few people are willing to sacrifice their luxury. If they start doing it, that's how the revolution takes place. In the revolutionary world, look at the revolution that have been taking place or in the past, that have taken place in the past. Only small percentage of the population is involved. So we do not have to be in thinking that let every one of us must do it. No, only few can start this process of planting these seeds for that tree which will sprout out later on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much.
बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत आनंद आया।
There is another hand, I guess.
Yes, Somnath Sinha ji.
नमस्ते जी, नमस्ते।
नमस्ते नमस्ते सोमजा जी, नमस्कार नमस्कार।
सर दो क्वेश्चन है। पहला वाला, ये विवाह संस्कार जो करवा रहे हैं पुरोहित, क्या इनकी एक आवली या रजिस्टर होती है कि वी कैन से कि इनका अधिकार है ये सब करने का? शायद उस पे काम करना चाहिए अगर नहीं हुआ है। और दूसरा प्रश्न ये है,
उसका उत्तर मैं दे रहा हूं, आपकी बात से पूरी तरह सहमत हूं। I fully agree. They are not, some of them are not at all qualified.
दैट इज द अधिकार वाला क्वेश्चन। और दूसरा व्यवहार का क्वेश्चन था मेरा कि देखिए जिंदगी तो ऐसी है, चलती है। हाँ, एक तो आपने बड़ा सरल तरीके से बताया कि कैसे हम लोग उसको टाल सकते हैं, बोल सकते हैं कि भैया आप लीगल सिस्टम से चले जाइए अगर आपने उस विधि से काम करना है। मेरे तरफ से तो मैं कर नहीं सकता, मैं असहमत हूं। दूसरी बात ये वही होती है उसकी डाउनस्ट्रीम रेपरकशन की। अब उन्होंने अगर गोद में बच्चा ले रखा है, अब क्या करें?
Yes, that's a good question. And I think that is the वो जो है कहीं सरकार के अधिकार में आता है, कानून के अधिकार में आता है। हम आप या प्रीस्टली क्लास हम आप नहीं जा सकते और छीन सकते बच्चे को, नहीं। पार्ट ऑफ दिस इज एजुकेशन। हाउ कम दिस, हाउ दिस किड वाज अडॉप्टेड, कौन से पेरेंट्स थे जिन्होंने अडॉप्शन के लिए दे दिया। एक तो ये एस्पेक्ट रहता है एजुकेशन का, जनरल पब्लिक हैज टू बी educated about it, or legal system has to take care of it. You and I, a priest, cannot go and snatch away that child.
नहीं नहीं, बच्चे बच्चे का मतलब, मेरा कहने का मतलब ये था कि हाँ, बच्चे के भविष्य
अभी
के लिए कुछ संस्कार हम लोग जो करते हैं, पर संस्कार में तो बच्चे के माता पिता होने चाहिए ना, उनके।
बिल्कुल आपकी बात सही है। हम संस्कार, ऐसे बच्चे को संस्कार हम नहीं दे सकते हैं। ओनली वन कंडीशन संस्कार दे सकते हैं, एक बच्चा अडॉप्ट भले कर लिया हो इस तरह के कपल ने, बच्चा फ्रॉम द वेरी स्टार्ट गो टू गुरुकुल स्कूल।
हम्म हम्म
That's
ये
the
सब ये
only,
सब ये सब ये
only
सब
other,
जटिल समस्याएं हैं, आती
yeah,
रहेंगी। जीवन
yeah.
का तो इसी में लीला है, पर सबका समाधान या जवाब एक एक बार में तो नहीं होता है, पर हाँ,
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
वो तो जीवन की तो यही यही तो मजा है जीवन में। अगर
yeah.
सब कुछ पता होता तो लीला क्यों होती।
लेकिन हम सबको जिनके अंदर भगवान ने बुद्धि का विकास किया है, ज्ञान की वृत्ति दी है,
जी
उनको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि हम समाज के लिए लोक धर्म यानी लोक संग्रह हम समाज के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं, किस तरह कर सकते हैं।
मेरा
इसीलिए जो है मैंने डिस्कस किया था, उसमें कहना चाहिए विशेष तौर से वानप्रस्थ आश्रम में, कि वानप्रस्थ आश्रम में जाके आप क्या कर सकते हैं। इसी ज्ञान विज्ञान को आप जो है पहुंचा सकते हैं किसी भी तरीके से, सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। जो पहुंचा रहे हैं उनको सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, उन
जी
इंस्टीट्यूशंस को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। ये सब कुछ कर्म करना जो आपके अधिकार में है और आपकी क्षमता है, अपनी अपनी क्षमता के अनुसार वो मानव को करना चाहिए। और यही उस परिस्थिति में उस मानव का धर्म है।
ये बहुत सही बात कही आपने, क्षमता और अधिकार वाली।
या
और ये तो एक एक दूसरी चीज जो, मतलब एक तीसरा प्रश्न हो जाता है, मुद्दा हो जाता है कि इन बच्चों के दिमाग में बचपन से यहाँ की पाठशालाओं में बड़ा लो लीगल स्टैंडर्ड का भ्रम डाल दिया जाता है। उदाहरण अनुसार मैं बोलूंगा, ऑल फैमिलीज आर इक्वल, वेल वी डिसएग्री, ऑल फैमिलीज आर नॉट इक्वल। और दूसरा होता है, ऑल रिलीजन्स आर इक्वल, वेल वी डिसएग्री ऑन दैट टू।
या
सो स्टार्टिंग में ही अगर वो बंदा या वो इन बच्चों में ये चीजें गढ़ दी गई हों, तो हम जिस दरवाजे से आ रहे हैं ये सब ज्ञान लेकर, तो उस चीज को पहले अंडू बटन दबाने में काफी टाइम लग जाता है।
लग जाता है, लग जाता है। मैं आपको बताऊं, सेवरल जनरेशन्स लगेगी, हम आपको बता रहे हैं। अगर
जी
हमने, हाँ, और अगर ये कलेक्टिवली हमने काम शुरू नहीं किया,
हम्म
all other civilizations are slowly collapsing,
हम्म
and they're looking forward. I know so many individuals
हम्म
through their writing or through personally in the Western world, they're looking for some exit. How really take care of this mess that has been created? The woke culture, for example.
यस
Okay.
यस
Or I have given actually in my series talks, I have also given these talks about especially all religions are same, all religions are same. It's the most tragic. First of all, Dharma became religion, the first
एग्जैक्टली
tragedy. And then once you have defined religion, then you say all dharma, all religions are same, and you सर्व धर्म जो है कंचे समानता और ये सब जो है। And I tell you, I have a very sometime we will discuss personally that my personal experience of this kind when I heard this all religions are same, all religions, in a conference by a great Swami from Ramakrishna Mission. Okay, And I have to stand up and say, well, I consider myself an idiot, is the word I used. But I don't understand what you're talking about. All religions are same, all religions are same. Please explain to me. And it could not be explained. I said, if I make such bold statement, blanket statement in my classroom, I'm professor at Ohio State University, I will be thrown out of window by my students. They have to explain what it means. So actually this is, and that's why it gave rise to the fight between secularism and religion. There has to be fight between.
ये सब झूठे झूठे चीजों में हमें उलझा के रखा हुआ है, जब तत्व जो है, जो आपने इंडिकेशंस दिए हैं खिड़कियों की तरफ कि देखो जी रोशनी आ रही है, आप अंधेरों में एक दूसरे के पीछे क्यों लगे हुए हो?
आपकी बातें बिल्कुल, मैं आपको बिल्कुल सही कह, और ये पब्लिक प्लेस में लुक एट, मतलब किस तरह से करप्शन है, किस तरह से थॉट करप्शन है। आपने अगर आप देखिए आज के संदर्भ में जितने पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स हैं, ओके, जितने इंटेलेक्चुअल्स हैं, आप कितना भी जो है कहिए अनैतिक कार्य कर रहे हैं, झूठ बोल रहे हैं, डिसेप्शन कर रहे हैं, उसको भी राजनीति कहा जाता है। राजनीति शब्द ही गायब हो गया।
वो तो मनुष्य प्रवृत्ति की बात आपने इसमें झलक दे दी कि अगर हम और आप मिलके बात करें कि चले हरिद्वार चलते हैं इस गंगा स्नान करने, तो हमारे पीछे मुश्किल से 100 मील डग के बाद एक बंदा दिखेगा। और अगर हम लोग दोनों मिलके बोले कि चलो षड्यंत्र रचते हैं, उसकी दुकान पे कैसे हम लोग चोरी डालें, तो तुरंत 5 जो जुट जाएंगे।
बिल्कुल, हम 5 जो है वो बताते हैं, 5 जो है जो इंडिकेटर्स हैं आपको देते हैं, जैसे ब्लड टेस्ट करते हैं ना, उसको 5 इंडिकेटर्स हम आपको बता रहे हैं। मानव को पहचानने के लिए कंपैटिबिलिटी की बात जो मैंने की थी, 5 है, उसको कंपैटिबिलिटी में आप जोड़ लीजिए। हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई दोस ट्रेट्स,
बताइए।
विचार, आचार, आचरण कैसा है, व्यवहार, आहार और विहार। What kind of entertainment you are engaged in, what you like most, ये 5 इंडिकेटर्स हैं। अगर आप 5 में इंडिकेटर्स के अनुसार टेस्ट करेंगे, किसी को परीक्षा लेंगे किसी की, आप देखेंगे उसकी बहुत कुछ पर्सनालिटी के बारे में आपको पता चल जाएगा।
मैं फिर से दोहराता हूँ, विचार, आचार, व्यवहार, आहार और विहार।
विहार,
पकड़ ली बात।
आप इसको ट्राई करके देख लीजिए, ये आपको ब्लड टेस्ट है ये। हाँ,
इसमें
और
समय लगता है।
आपको कंपैटिबिलिटी पता चल। और आई वांट टू टीच these kind of ideas to the younger generation.
Young people.
See, if you are looking for compatibility, you are looking for some good match for Vivaha Sanskar, try these things. Test out these things.
एक और वरिष्ठ सज्जन है हमारे संपर्क में, उन्होंने एक बात कही, वो तो देखते रहते हैं कि बहुत से हमारे वाले बच्चे अब दूसरे कल्चर वाले बच्चों से भी शादियां कर रहे हैं और ये सब। तो उन्होंने बताया कि देखो जी, अब ये तो अब मैं कौन होता हूँ किसी के टांग अड़ाने वाले। ये सिर्फ उन्होंने सुझाव दिया था व्यवहार के तौर पे कि अगर आप लोग भिन्न बैकग्राउंड से हैं तो प्लीज हैव समथिंग इन कॉमन। और उनका उसका दूसरा भी परिप्रेक्ष्य में था कि अगर आप एक ही बैकग्राउंड के हैं, देन प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव डिफरेंट इंटरेस्ट्स।
ये कंपैटिबिलिटी का जो है मैट्रिक्स है, जो बड़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स है, लेकिन these are the 5 indicators I have.
बहुत सही।
No matter whether you are from one culture or another culture, even within India there are so many cultures. If you look at, you know, but compatibility के लिए these 5 are to be looked at, and how to what degree they are compatible, and they do not become 100% compatible. Okay. So always there is sacrifice. That's why Vivaha Sanskara is important. That's why they both together have to work together, sacrifice their certain of the inherent trait, inherent psychological issues, and they can work it out with a common goal. If we have a common goal, this is what we have to achieve. other things can be worked out and sacrifice have to be made.
एक निवेदन है, चैट में जरा पढ़ लीजिएगा। ये इस वाली क्लासरूम जो आपने करा है ना जूम में, तो कह रहे हैं कि इंग्लिश में जो हमने बातें करी हैं जरा उसका रूपांतर कर दिया जाए, आचार विचार के बारे में जो हमने करा
ठीक
था,
है, ठीक है,
कंपैटिबिलिटी।
हम अवश्य कोशिश, see my we will try our best. We will try our best.
We will try. I'm sorry. मुझे I
No,
didn't mean
you
to.
don't have to say it. I have to use the English language because there are other international individuals who do not, even people from South do not understand the Hindi. That's why I have to use
So
the
for
English.
Tejas's benefit, let us recap. Achar, no, it began with क्या था? 5 थे.
Vichar.
Vichar, thought.
Yeah. Achar, your personal lifestyle.
Conduct, your conduct.
Vivaha, interrelationship with the rest of the society. How do you do
He's
it?
taking notes. So let's start from the top.
Yeah.
So पहला बताइए सर.
पहला जो है विचार.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Vichar is thinking.
Yeah.
Achar is conduct.
Conduct. Third is Vyavahar, interrelationship.
Vyavahar is interpersonal behavior.
That is correct. And the
Ahar,
what kind of food you eat.
And food is generic in the sense what inputs are going into your body.
That is correct. Annam Brahma. Let me explain to you. Food का मतलब बहुत ही विस्तृत है. Food actually is not a good term. Annam Brahma. Whatever input is there from outside and within you through these all senses, what you digest, okay, that is Annam Brahma. Annam. That's the Annam is the proper.
That's Ahar. That's Ahar. And the last one is Vihar. So that is the output.
Last Vihar. How do you entertain yourself?
So you had the Ahar, which was the inputs into your system.
Yeah.
What are your outputs? That is the Vihar. So how you recreate, what is your leisure,
that
what
is
is
correct.
the productive activity.
That is correct. Where your mind dwells in more. कहाँ आपको खुशी कहाँ मिलती है, किस तरह के entertainment में?
So these are the 5.
These are the 5. And I can expand on these. You know, these are the field. That's why you call Ksetra. And there are several aspects of each of these.
Actually, you know what, Guruji, आप suggestion है कि for people who are in this stage now, between Brahmacharya and Grihastha, we should consider holding a class. Ki, this is just a guideline. We are not recommending anything. We are giving you suggestions. Ki, when you go forward and you're evaluating potential partners, please.
सिन्हा जी, मैं पूरी तरह सहमत हूँ. मैं तो पिछले 20 साल से ये कह रहा हूँ लोगों से. ऐसा नहीं, इसी तरह की मीटिंग्स में कितने में लेक्चर दे चुका हूँ, प्रॉब्ली क्लोज टू 200. सबसे कह रहा हूँ, मुझे ऑडियंस दीजिए. आई एम रेडी टू सैक्रिफाइस माई सेल्फ फॉर दिस.
ये रहा वादा. We will take you up on it. We will take you up on it. आज के लिए इतना काफी है.
इतना काफी है. सिन्हा जी, you have my number?
I think so. फिर से आप मुझे अच्छा ठीक है, मैं आपको
आप अभी लिख लीजिए.
हाँ जी, एक मिनट पेन
अभी लिख लीजिए.
लिया था, मैं भी लेकर आता हूँ.
Those who want my personal number, please, we can discuss it further, and we need your help to propagate this wisdom among the younger generation. Older generation became so rigid and solidified in their mental makeup, in their psychological field, that they will have hard time to understand and execute. But the younger generation is very, 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 very important for us to carry out.
Okay, Shiv ji, कृपया बदलू.
614 284 1174.
1174.
Yeah. See, Rajiv ji has given me such a great platform. I could really, that's why I have given a lot of lectures, including what he called comparative assessment of different traditions, Islamic tradition. This is, I have given a series of lectures. On yoga tradition, I have given a series of lectures. On very many aspects, I have given. So हम तो जो है कहना चाहिए, हम तो सेवक हैं.
देखिए,
सेवा
we are
करने को
trying to
तैयार हैं.
translate.
You give me platform, I will do it.
बहुत सही
Day or night, day or night. I have to
सही बात.
sacrifice my life for this purpose. Thank
Okay, then what we are hearing is Tejas, get a few of your friends together in
you.
classroom. That is your homework, and we will talk about how to evaluate potential partners. And
Yeah.
आपका तो तजुर्बा है, then आप तो बता भी सकते हैं कि based on your experiences of
Yeah.
successful marriages, what are the lakshanas that you have observed?
You are right. मैं कभी कभी जो है, जो सन्यासी होते हैं, तमाम सन्यासी हैं, आप देखते हैं, मतलब जो है सन्यासी, उनको रिस्पेक्ट करते हुए, लेकिन मैं कह भी देता हूं कि I don't think without getting into Grahast Ashram, you have the experience of real life. All trial and tribulations or anxiety, all frustrations or depressions or fight, you do not have experience. If you do not have experience, you cannot provide a good medicine.
For example, if you don't marry and you don't produce an offspring,
Yeah.
you will not realize Dashrath's pain when
No.
Rama had to be ordered to go away from him.
That is correct. That is correct.
How can you explain that? I can talk about it, but I don't know it.
Yeah, that is
I can even have tears in my eyes when I'm saying that, but I cannot even bring to words the pain. This was Dashrath's curse.
Yeah.
Then you relate it back कि भैया उन्होंने ये उनका प्राश्चित था क्योंकि श्रवण कुमार के अंध पेरेंट्स के साथ वो अन्याय हुआ. और ये तो हमारी. अच्छा शिव जी आ गया.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और I look forward to hearing from you
बहुत
and
सही.
others that I could serve them as a seva. In your
बहुत सही.
चरणों में बंधन करता हुआ अगर मैं आपकी सेवा कर सकूं, ये मेरे लिए बहुत
शिव जी
भाग्य.
ये तो आपने बड़ा सही कहा है कि ये विवाह संस्कार को लेकर, क्योंकि लाइफ में जैसे अब मैं भी वृद्ध हो चुका हूं, पीछे मुड़ के देखता हूं, दो ही चॉइस होते हैं जो अपने हाथ में होते हैं. एक तो मैं क्या व्यवसाय करूं जिसमें मुझे खुशी मिले और जिससे मुझे मेरा घर भी चले.
ठीक बात.
वो डुअल होता है ना. मुझे
या.
मजा किसी काम में आ रहा है पर उसमें उतना पैसा नहीं मिल रहा
ठीक
है,
बात.
और जिस चीज से पैसा आ रहा है उस काम में मुझे उतना मजा नहीं आ रहा है.
ठीक है.
ये तो दुनिया का चलता ही है. और
Yeah, no,
दूसरा,
this is a part of, what you call the mental life.
इट इज व्हाट इट इज. वो एक चॉइस है, उस पर अगर आप गहन से कुछ कर सकते हैं तो हमारी बहुत कृतज्ञता होगी. दूसरी बात ये है, whom should I spend the rest of the life with?
Yes.
यही दो हैं अपने हाथ में क्वेश्चंस.
Yes, 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 yes.
और इस पे सारा गेम इस पर ही है.
इस पर है.
सारा गेम इस पर ही है. इस गाड़ी के एक पहिया ढीला हुआ तो सारे पहिए निकल जाएंगे.
इसीलिए कहा गया है अर्थ, धर्म, काम और मोक्ष.
एग्जैक्टली.
इसको जो है कनकी आप दूसरे लेक्चर्स में जो है हमारे देखेंगे कि हम इसको थोड़ा अर्थ धर्म, काम धर्म, ओके, मोक्ष धर्म, ये सब हमने धर्म शब्दों को साथ में रखा है. नहीं तो क्या है कि अर्थव्यवस्था में लोग जो चाहें सो करें और बाद में दान दे दें.
हाँ जी.
क्या हम तो सब ठीक हो गए. ये बिल्कुल अंधकार है. ये बिल्कुल हो नहीं सकता ऐसा.
हाँ. वो जो कहते हैं ना कि 100 चूहे खाकर बिल्ली चली हज पर, वो वाली बात है.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात आपकी.
अच्छा गुरुजी, आज्ञा.
मंगल हो,
धन्यवाद.
मंगल. गोविंद आपका मंगल करें, मंगल करें.
मंगलम मंगलम.
Any other hands or question or comments?
Yeah, I don't see any. Pooja, can you just conclude? And thanks everybody.
Pooja ji, thank you so much, Pooja ji. Thank you so much. I hope I can see.
Thank you so much.
I hope I can see you in future.
Yeah, I will be there whenever you need my
मिश्रा
help.
जी
You
बहुत
can
बहुत
call
प्रणाम,
me.
बहुत बहुत प्रणाम मिश्रा जी, बहुत बहुत प्रणाम, बहुत बहुत प्रणाम। फिर हम आप जो है विचार करेंगे। पूजा जी हमारे वेबसाइट हमें हमारे फोन
जी
पर जो है कंची व्हाट्सएप पे वो लिंक सब भेज देना आप।
जी श्योर, मैं भेज दूंगी आपको।
हाँ सबके
जी
लिंक भेज देना। हाँ
जी
गुरु जी
जी
आपके सब पुराने लेक्चर कहाँ हैं सब?
वो जो है
यूट्यूब पे,
कंची
यूट्यूब पे है।
यूट्यूब।
अच्छा
मैंने लिंक
यूट्यूब पे हैं सब
लिंक
सब
भेज
पुराने
दी।
लेक्चर?
जी
नहीं
चैट
नहीं,
बॉक्स
इस
में
विवाह
मैंने।
संस्कार के नहीं, उनके और भी जो पुराने लेक्चर हैं वो कहाँ हैं?
उस पे भी हैं कंची, आप यूट्यूब पे भी हैं काफी कुछ, और जो है वो क्लासरूम google.class.com उस पे भी है।
गूगल क्लासरूम की लिंक भी भेज दिए ग्रुप में, आप चेक कीजिएगा तो वो
क्लासरूम का
आपको
लिंक
मिल
भी,
जाएंगे।
हाँ हाँ
जी
हाँ। वो अगर आप हाँ वो स्क्रॉल करेंगे, अगर आप जो है अपना जो जो फ्लायर जाता है, इफ यू स्क्रॉल डाउन ऑल द वे बॉटम यू हैव ए लिंक अवेलेबल देयर।
I think Tejas have any question. He raised his hand.
ओके गुड बाय। एक और कोई किसी ने हाथ
Sorry,
उठाया,
just
एक और किसी ने और हाथ उठाया है।
one question,
Yeah.
if that's all right. Um, if you would like to do a session for me and perhaps some other Hindu students in London, would you be prepared to do like a video conference type thing?
I'm sorry, I could not get your question, sir.
No worries, I'll repeat it. If you would like to lead an information session for me and my friends,
I will be more than happy. I will be more than happy. You arrange it, I will be more than happy. It will be a blessing for me and the blessing to our Vedic rishis, that if I could transmit such knowledge under contemporary understanding, articulating in a way that could be understood by the contemporary generation. That's what I do. I will be more than happy. You just give me a
Right.
contact. You contact me, you arrange it technically, in terms of, how to do it. But I will be available day and night. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. I study in London currently, so I have a lot of access to.
Great.
I have a.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you still hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I think we can close it out now. Just, I think the
Yes, sir.
connection. We'll get his Tejas's contact information, and then we'll organize. Okay.
Yeah, sure. We
Thank
have
you,
Girdharji
Rajesh
number.
ji.
We
Thank
can
you
get
so
contact.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shivji and everyone.